Myrtle Beach.
This guy ever gonna show up?
Frank's usually on time.
Cutting it close. Ooh, 601.
Probably stop for that dunk.
You have any idea what 7 drone batteries weigh? I'll give you an idea if you want to pick that up. We're gonna get this guy a cup of coffee. You had a coffee yet today?
I had a half a cup.
Yeah.
At a 5:30 half
Gotta
cup.
bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
He's always sweating when he doesn't have his bag in hand. He likes to keep that thing with him. Wait till you see the panic waiting for the clubs to come out. That's next.
Just children. We're just children.
This is just how we go stir crazy, waiting to see if those clubs arrive. That's always the
That's how we keep
diciest-
from going stir crazy.
Right.
All right, so let's get this trip started. We step up to this first tee box and we were given a little piece of advice from the starter, generous fairways. And you can see it here first hole. And it's exciting, you know, grip it and rip it. You got a wide fairway. Let's see what this course is all about. That's how you want to get things started. Hope that's the theme this week. Yeah, a couple guys who look like they know what they're doing.
See if we can make a par from the plane.
I'll tell you, I thought Grand Dunes was the ideal place to begin this trip. I mean, it's a big boy golf course. It's a modern design, the wide fairways, the views of the intracoastal waterway. It's really an ideal way to start a trip to Myrtle Beach. You know, if you miss a fairway, there's nobody to blame but you.
First green in regulation in Myrtle Beach, my man.
It's actually off the back, but we're okay. So kind of going right to the course from the plane, a little tight on time. Didn't get a chance to really get out there and roll many putts on the practice green. So it's gonna kind of be a learn as we go out there. And the first green is evidence of that. A little bit of tough time gauging the speeds, but I'm sure we're gonna get these understood pretty quickly. So the starter, Smokey, gave us some advice that saved me a lot of strokes that day. And that was understanding that the greens were fast and firm and they were not going to receive golf balls in any type of soft way. So he said, definitely, you're not gonna get a ton of spin if you're out of the rough. If you can't really spin it, he said, land it short and let it roll. And on the second hole here, we could quickly see exactly what he was talking about. There's really only 2 ways that you can hold these greens. Either spin it like a tour pro or hit it nice and high, let it come in as soft as you can, and definitely give yourself some room for it to roll out.
Oh! Wow.
Gave it a good look.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You roll up to the third tee box. I mean, this is where you can really see how generous these fairways are. And it's part of the reason why this is one of the more desired courses down here, because it's a fun course to play. You know, it's anytime you have fairways this wide, you can get aggressive and it makes the game more fun. So, I mean, I would definitely put this one on my list right out of the gate as something that should be added to your itinerary for just a fun course with great views and great golf.
All time,
Yes!
up and down from the sand.
Dude, that might be the best putt of your life.
It might be.
Yes!
That is an up and down I never thought I'd make.
Wow, make percentage like 3%.
Less. Jeez, from that bunker. Short-sided bunker. Woo.
Wow.
So the fourth hole is the first par 5 we're seeing out here. And water runs up the entire right side. So it really depends on how aggressive you want to get with that tee shot line. Obviously, the more that you bite off of that water, the shorter your second shot is going to be. Thankfully, there's a lot of bailout left if you don't want to take on the water, but keep in mind, the further you bail out left on this hole, the longer you're gonna make it for that second and third shot into this par 5. So choose wisely as you see which line you want to take over this water.
Dude, I'm the turtle whisperer.
That geese about to attack you on the right.
Yeah, look at him.
Let it.
That guy's
See
all
what
over.
happens.
All over you, man.
He's checking in on what
He's
you're
like,
doing.
dude, get away.
They're literally all right here. They just keep coming.
So I ended up catching a pretty tough lie with my drive, and looking at it, there's just no way I was gonna reach this par 5 in 2 from that spot. So just trying to play smart. That's gonna be the theme throughout this entire round. And I just took a 6-iron and just laid it up to a good distance. Who needs a Texas wedge?
Nobody.
There it is.
Not when you got this. Come on, we're gonna use it a lot this week.
You're finding what kind of grass this is?
Yeah, I gotta find out what grass this is. I need to know in life.
Why?
Just, I mean, I'm not gonna obviously plant any of it, but I'm like, just knowing going to
You
a
want
golf
this
course.
in your yard?
Imagine I roll up, I'm like, so is this, you know, Kentucky bluegrass? Like, I wanna know what it is because I always wanna play on these fairways. It's beautiful. Does he have another one in
Sure.
it? Speed's not bad there.
I like the speed. It just didn't roll down the way I wanted, but
All right, good par, take it away.
yeah, tuck them in there for pars. Let's go, let's go. Not bad,
Alrighty,
couple pars.
thank you.
Uh-oh, don't flirt with it, Frank. Sit down.
I'm fine.
You got acres of fairway on the left, and you get involved with a little bit of the H2O. You hit the gas right now, you end Zach's entire career.
You ready for it?
You may end it just doing that.
You know,
Guy's in the drone zone right now. He's in the drone zone. Now here's a guy who's living. Look, he put his own little green in his backyard right
yeah,
there.
he did.
He's got the golf course here. He's got his own green.
He knows what he's doing.
He got the cheat code.
This guy knows what he's doing.
He knows the cheat
Good
code.
for you, my man.
Run! Just didn't catch it all.
Boom.
So the 6th hole has this ridge that runs through the middle of the green, and what it does is it causes any longer balls to roll off towards the back or anything short to roll back towards the front. So everything kind of moves away from a middle pin. And it can be hard to kind of see. So hit the approach shot here, and honestly, just knowing it hit the green, had to get up there a little bit closer to see where it finished, because like I said, if you're not in that little landing area in the middle, you're gonna either run further back, you know, towards the back of the green or back towards the front. Either way, you are running away from this pin.
Oh, man.
Good guess?
It was so close to being perfect. You landed like just to the right of the pin. It trickled off the back.
Okay. I used that tree as a line.
Yeah.
I figured that's where the,
That was the good line.
okay.
Run down to that hole. Get prettier. Get tastier. Let's go.
Holy cow, those are 2 great shots.
Someone's gonna make the first birdie here.
Or both.
Or both.
All right.
A tie? Tie
All right.
goes to the runner. Let's see.
Look at that. Oh yeah, we're about to ball outside right, Mike.
He's his own caddy.
Yep.
Oh! It moved like you thought.
That was the speed, but hey, pars are good.
And it's still up for grabs.
7th hole at Grand Dunes kind of reminded me of one of the holes at TPC Tampa Bay. Water running up the left side. It's funny. You go on all these trips, you travel all these places. A lot of these course designs just stay mapped in your brain. So you see a hole and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this one. And that was certainly the 7th hole. And you know, when you have an opportunity, well, my thoughts, when you have an opportunity to go driver off the deck, good lie, only 250 to get home, par 5. I'm gonna take that chance.
Oh no.
I told you I gotta do it in every state, right?
Yeah.
First driver off the deck, South Carolina. I got a pretty good lie, got 265 home. I shouldn't say wide open, there's water everywhere. We're gonna commit to it. I like this play here. Didn't start it out left. Man, was that good. I advanced it about 240-ish, so.
60% of the time. It
Works.
every time.
Yeah. Settle.
That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Yes! There it is. Yes! Is that a birdie?
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
Yes, there's the first bird.
So these trips, they're hard to plan. I mean, they're not easy. I mean, there's travel involved. I mean, Frank and I both have, you know, families with small children, and, you know, to get out here and do this, it's tough. But, you know, it's something we just make a point to do every year, a few trips just to get out and see all the great golf that's around the world. Yeah, but it's been a while since we've had a really big travel trip, you know, dating back to the summer of last year when we were out in Wisconsin. So, you know, a lot to bite off on these trips. We try to cram it all in a short period of time. The itinerary calls for, you know, 18 one day, 36, then 18, then 36 before we jet home. So there's a lot of golf packed into this 4-day trip. We're gonna do our best to bring you guys some of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, it pushed it. It was a good speed.
Yep. All right.
Par 4 9th hole. It's a beautiful way to conclude the front nine. It's, you know, the intercoastal comes into view there on the par 3 8th, but on the 9th you get a full view of its majesty for the first time. You hit the ball, you've got the Grand Dunes Marina on the other side of the waterway there. It's just it's a great hole. It requires 2 really good shots, and you're gonna love the views.
Big birdie opportunity for Frank here.
I want my redemption birdie. Did he get it? Yes!
Dude,
There's
nice
the
job.
birdie. Thanks.
That feels good on this hole, huh?
That feels good. I got it with a view. Birdie with a view.
Yeah, that's a nice one. 10th hole, and I mean, you could just see the views, I mean, around you. I mean, you know, and that's what you're gonna see throughout this video, and, you know, hopefully throughout the rest of this series. The views at some of these courses, the intercoastal, the boats coming by, some places with the waves crashing up. I mean, it's just so many great views, and the 10th certainly had all of that.
Well done.
That's a par, baby.
So hole 11 is a really pretty par 3, and you look at these greens and the shapes that they have, it really shows you that there's a lot of places that they can put these pins, a lot of nooks and crannies where they can tuck in the pins and really change the way that these holes play. But the hole, regardless, is definitely a good warm-up for the signature hole par 3, which is coming up in just a few holes, and everyone tells us that one is gonna be trouble.
Good speed, good speed. 2 great lag putts, 2 great pars.
It's a big green, and we got to see a lot of it,
We
didn't
saw all of it, and we're thrilled with the result.
Yeah, like a lot of golf courses here, Grand Dunes has a variety of tee box options, and that's primarily because it's a course too that's built to host high-level events. We've hosted the PGA Professional National Championship there. They're always hosting Carolina Golf Association events. So, you know, it's a golf course that offers the opportunity for highly skilled players to really be challenged. But for the majority of our travelers, play from the proper set of tees. You know, you don't want to push yourself like that. You're down here, if you're a mid to high handicapper, play from the white tees. You're going to have a great time. It's a great challenge, and it's really, it's the thing to do.
Tough little stretch coming up. 13 is a double fairway, par 5's #1 handicap. Then we go to the number 5 handicap signature hole next, and the number 3 handicap par 4, measuring like 430 right after that. So this is like our little snake pit here. We got to get through this one. Come on.
The 13th is a fun par 5. There's water out there that splits across the fairway, but luckily from the tees, it's about 350 yards. So this is one of those ones you get to kind of grip it and rip it, try to bite off as much of this hole as you possibly can, and leave yourself a chance to get there in 2. But remember that water is out there, and it is going to be something you're going to have to consider when you start playing that second shot.
The 14th hole at Grand Dunes is, for my money, the most dramatic one-shotter here along the Grand Strand, and maybe almost anywhere in South Carolina. I mean, you're playing from that elevated bluff overlooking the intercoastal waterway to a large green. There's kind of the bunker there that's the front right. There's so much to think about if you're a player up there. But you know what? There's also more room too. It's a more playable hole than sometimes your eyes can lead you to believe when you're staring out there watching the boats go by and looking at the sand. But it is a wonderful par 3.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it. Come on.
Run, run, run.
There you go. Making pars with boats running behind you. You don't care. Nothing phases this guy.
Boats just fly down this
Frankie
thing.
Fields. Nothing phases this guy.
So FootJoy really hooked us up for this trip with some incredible gear, and we're putting it to use right away. We got a day where the weather's a little bit dicey. It was kind of going back and forth. We were getting some rain and some drizzle here and there. So it was good to have a couple of different things that I could throw on while we were out there and just stay dry. And also, like I said, here in Myrtle Beach, things change quickly. It can get hot pretty quick when it's not raining, and get humid. Humidity can blow in, and other times we get it breezy, and you're gonna see a lot of that in this series because there's plenty of times when the wind kicked up. So it's just nice to know that you got a couple of different layering options you can change into and stay comfortable out there, because you definitely play a whole lot better golf when you're comfortable out there. So FootJoy, we appreciate you hooking us up on this one.
Look, if you want to score well at Grand Dunes, you're going to hit the fairways. They're wide enough that if you miss one, that's on you. But the key to scoring well there is going to be the proper spot in the fairway, and make sure you're on the proper spot to these greens. There was a renovation project in the summer of 2022 that added more than 33% of green space. So there are so many pinnable areas. Those greens are among the largest in the area. You want to make sure you're in the right spot and you're close to the pin. If not, a 3-putt's going to become a friend of yours.
Another one.
Three.
Three birdies.
Three birdies for this guy. Guy loves Myrtle.
Got to bounce back.
My man loves Myrtle.
Love him.
He's gonna
love
move
the
down
Myrtle
here.
greens. Wow, you know, we've seen some intimidating tee shots, but 17 is definitely in the conversation for some of the scariest tee shots here at Grand Dunes. You've got a par 5 and water runs up the entire left side. Also, all those generous fairways we've been seeing, well, there isn't one here. There's not a lot of room to land this ball. And on top of that, you really can't lay off driver here because it's a par 5 and you need to get a good shot out there. You need a little bit of that distance. Ultimately, with the wind, just tried to play this hole as smart as I could and conservative too. Went driver, 6-iron, and then pitching wedge, just trying to get that green in regulation. We would have had one more birdie and back-to-back birdies. It's not something I haven't done in a long time.
You know, one of the funny things going up to 18 tee box, I took a peek at the scorecard. I noticed Frank was on to something special. I think he's on pace to do something. I'm just watching him play all day, and I'm like, you know, this guy plays well when he gets off the plane. Oh my goodness.
Dude, I hit that exactly how I wanted to.
I don't know what it is. So unlike, you know, some of the other times where I've you know, jinxed him talking to a pitcher during a no-hitter, I decided to keep my mouth shut. I went over to the scorecard, I added it up in my head, and I could tell he was on to something special. So let's see if my man can break 80 today at his first round on our Myrtle Beach series.
Break. Wow. I know there's gonna be a few shots there. Mental errors are gonna be kicking myself for double bogeying the last hole out here. But it doesn't take away from how much fun we had. It was a fun course. It was an enjoyable course. It was a great way to start off the series. And I think we both played pretty well. I think it sets up some really good golf that we're going to be playing and experiencing over the next couple of days. Look at that kid.
I didn't even see that.
In the next episode of the Myrtle Beach series.
Let me ask you a question. What's the course record?
That's a good question. High or low?
There it is.
Let's go.